Hi everyone, it's Melissa, and today I am sharing my list for the Booktube Spin number 8. The Booktube Spin was created by Rick McDonnell. I forget his new channel's name, or his channel's new name, I should say, but I will make sure to link that below. The spin has been on hiatus for a while, so I was very excited to see it back. Essentially, it's a reading challenge where you pick 20 books and number them 1 through 20 and share that list publicly, and then Rick will spin a wheel, and whatever number it lands on, you read the corresponding book from your list. So this time I have gone by genre for the most part. So I have 4 different categories of books to talk about. The first category is nonfiction books. So I have 5 nonfiction books. Number 1 is Death on Earth, Adventures in Evolution and Mortality by Jules Howard. As the title would suggest, this book is about how mortality has shaped evolution and mortality's place in the natural world. Book number 2 is Wild Swans, 3 Daughters of China by Young Chang. This is partly her memoir and partly a biography of her family. So her grandmother was a warlord's concubine, and it talks about the Cultural Revolution, and Chang herself was a Red Guard briefly when she was 14. So sounds very interesting. That's book number 2. Book number 3 is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. This is about how Henrietta Lacks's cells, known as HeLa cells, were harvested. I think she was a cancer patient, if I'm not mistaken, but her cells were harvested and they just never die. They keep replicating. And these cells are used even today in all sorts of like medical research and applications, and these cells were taken from her without her knowledge or consent. So another very interesting topic. Book number 4 is Against the Web, A Cosmopolitan Answer to the New Right by Michael Brooks. I meant to read this for Nonfiction November and just didn't get around to it. So in this book, he talks about kind of the rise of the alt-right space online. That sounded quite fascinating to me. And book number 5 is Soonish by Kelly and Zach Weidersmith. So this is from the creator of the webcomic Saturday Morning Breakfast cereal. And this is about 10 emerging technologies that'll improve and or ruin everything. The next category I have is sci-fi books. So book number 6 is Made to Order, Robots and Revolution. So this is an anthology of short stories all about robots and AI. Book number 7 is Contact by Carl Sagan. I really like this movie, so I was curious how the book compares. It is about the first contact with alien life. Book number 8 is The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul by Douglas Adams. This is the second in the Dirk Gently series. So I've previously read the first book, Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, which I absolutely loved. And I keep meaning to read this and I keep not doing it. So I thought I'd put it on the spin and maybe that will kick my butt into gear. Book number 9 is Redshirts by John Scalzi. I was gifted this by my husband last Christmas, maybe even 2 Christmases ago, and I keep not reading it. And I'd like to get to it sooner rather than later. It pokes fun, I think, a bit, or uses that trope of the lower ranking officers on spaceships and whatnot constantly dying during away missions. And yeah, I think it's probably going to be quite tongue-in-cheek and a lot of fun. Book number 10 is Axiom's End by Lindsay Ellis. I don't know anything about this. I was also gifted this 2 or 3 Christmases ago, and it is, I think, maybe a first contact story as well. I don't know, but I'm in the mood for sci-fi, so that's why I had that category. The next category is fantasy. I always get in the mood for fantasy in the wintertime. Book number 11 is Unfinished Tales by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have read this before, but it has been so long and I've never reread it that I can't really remember the stories in here, so I wanted to reread it. It's also possible that I only read like half of it or something. I just don't really remember most of what's in here. and I have a whole shelf of Tolkien books that I haven't got to, and I would like to continue reading some of the like mythologies and stuff. So that was book number 11. Book number 12 is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. This is a middle grade about a boy whose family is murdered and he goes and lives in a graveyard and is raised by ghosts. Sounds scary and delightful. Book number 13 is Hunted by Megan Spooner. I think this is YA. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It looked wintry, so I was in the mood for it. I think we're on to book 14, and for this I chose Wyrd Sisters by Terry Pratchett. I've been reading all of the Discworld novels, and this is the next on the list. I'm assuming it's about the witches, and I don't know anything else about it. Book number 15 is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Everyone talks about what a great fantasy book this is. I have read the first... I think I read the prologue before and maybe the first chapter and put it aside. I don't think I was in the mood for it. And it keeps ending up on my TBRs and I keep not reading it. So I think it's time to make an honest try at reading this or parting ways with it. Now for my last 5 books, I decided rather than looking through my physical shelves to pick 5 books on my e-reader because I just always forget that I own books on my e-reader and I haven't prepped anything. I decided what I would do is just flip through and if something catches my fancy, add it on at the end. So we are on book number 16. I'm going to choose a mystery / detective, not sure. I have Anatomy of a Murder by Robert Traver. I like mysteries during the winter as well. So that's going to be book number 16. Don't know anything about that book. Book number 17, I'm going to go with The Bobcat by Catherine Forbes Riley. Don't know what this is about. This is the problem. These books sit on my e-reader for so long that I've forgotten why I've added them. Book number 18, we'll go with Hollow Kingdom by Kira Jane Buxton. I do remember that this is an post-apocalyptic book with a talking crow, so that sounded cool. Book number 19, The Strongman and the Mermaid by Kathleen Shoup. Don't remember anything about this. Looks vaguely maybe like historical fiction. I may have lost count because I was scrolling through here for a long time, but I think we're at number 20. I am going to go with D, A Tale of Two Worlds by Michelle Faber. It's a middle grade where a character ends up in an alternate realm or something, in another world where the letter D has gone missing. Or maybe the letter D's gone missing and she goes into an alternate world to find it. Something like that. It sounds whimsical and totally my type of thing, but it's pretty low rated, so I own it as an ebook, so I thought I would try it. Well, potentially if the wheel lands on number 20. So that is my list. If you've read any of the books on my list and recommend them, please let me know, because even if they don't get picked by the wheel, I would like to prioritize some of these. And if you have a list out for the Booktube Spin, please let me know. I'd love to go take a look. As always, thanks so much for watching and we'll chat soon. Take care. Bye.